Beijing claims sovereignty over the South China Sea, a valuable waterway through which around 30% of the world's goods are shipped. This strategic waterway is one of the most important oil and natural gas transport choke points in the world. Claims over this area have been made by the Philippines, Brunei, Vietnam, Malaysia, and Taiwan. Nearly $5 trillion in trade passes annually through this region in the South China Sea. These waters also contain one of the world's largest oil and natural gas deposits. This region has around 11 billion barrels of oil and around 190 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. The reason why I want to share this particular point with you guys is that any, even the smallest provocation against China in this region will lead to a major conflict between the United States and China. I have no doubt about it. The key point is that in the case of a conflict in the South China Sea, the whole financial world, including the dollar, will collapse like a house of cards. And the whole world will suffer very negative consequences. 85% of goods are made in China. To grasp the full scope of the potential conflict and its negative consequences in the South China Sea region, I want you guys to know that around 85% of goods are made in China. The vast majority of the world's electronics, such as servers, PCs, smartphones, and other electronics and its parts are manufactured in China. This simply means that even the smallest escalation over the ongoing South China Sea territorial dispute could do more damage to the world than simply raising geopolitical tensions. Where particular issues arise is that around 84% of the world's electronics are made in Asia, and about 85% of those electronics are made in China. On top of that, all those electronics and other products flows through the South China Sea region. A conflict between China and the United States would be intense, destructive, and very damaging to the world's economies. The fast-growing Asian power is quickly closing the technological gap and could match the United States military within a decade. A limited conflict in the South China Sea region between China and the US would rock the world's economy and devastate the entire planet. Thus, it is crucial to do much more for every government official to ensure it doesn't happen. China warns US military of fatal consequences. As many of us suspect, the signs that a major conflict is about to break out between the US and China, NATO and Russia are everywhere. It is important to acknowledge the fact that China is warning the United States military of a fatal consequences. With tensions escalating in the South China Sea region, officials in Beijing have pushed for a more aggressive stance to defend China's territorial claims. Chinese admiral is warning of a disaster for continued US military patrols through the South China Sea region. I just want to show you how many more countries are warning its citizens to prepare for something big, but the government officials wouldn't tell us what it is. When we have Chinese minister warning about the start of a major conflict in the South China Sea, it is critical to keep an eye on what is going on in Europe. Particularly, it is critical to keep an eye on the countries bordering with Russia. We have Germany telling to its citizens to stock up on food, water, medicine, and other essential supplies. Then we have Czech Republic telling to its citizens to stock up on food, water, medicine, and other essential supplies. Now we have Finnish government telling to its citizens to stock up on food, water, medicine, and other essential supplies. Just look on this map. All these countries are very close to Moscow, and Finland has very long border with Russia. Russian citizens stocking up on food, water, medicine, and other essential supplies. Russians are preparing for a big conflict between Russia and NATO. In my previous video, I was talking about that when people are preparing for some big event to take place very soon. On this map, we have missile defense shields active now. According to analysts, the probability for the war to start in Europe in September is very low, but the probability for the big conflict to start in Ukraine over the next 2 weeks is more than 50%. A dangerous wild card in the South China Sea is the involvement of Russia. China aims to launch a series of offshore nuclear power platforms to promote development in the South China Sea region. China Securities Journal said that 20 offshore nuclear platforms could eventually be built in the region as the country seeks to speed up the commercial development of the South China Sea. I wonder, can those platforms be used during a crisis? US military forces will continue to operate in the South China Sea in accordance with the international law. The United States has complained that Chinese aircraft and ships have performed unsafe maneuvers while shadowing the US ships and planes, particularly in the South China Sea. China has repeatedly blamed the United States for provocating trouble in the South China Sea, a strategic waterway through which more than $5 trillion of US dollars of trade moves annually. China, Brunei, Malaysia, the Philippines, Taiwan and Vietnam all have rival claims, of which China's is the biggest. Kerry tries to calm down tensions in the South China Sea region before war erupts. Increased militarization by the US and its allies against China is telling a very different story, as the conflict may ultimately break out as Washington's increased militarization by the US and its allies against China. In other words, Washington overplayed their hand, or in simple words, crossed the red line. The US Secretary of State John Kerry arrived in Manila, conveying Washington's interest in avoiding a confrontation in the South China Sea region, following China's refusal to submit to the judgment of the Hague Arbitration Court's ruling that rejects China's claim to most of the waters in the region. What is going on in our world? As we see so many things going on at the same time, it becomes very hard to comprehend what is really going on. Many of you left a comment under few of my videos asking me the following question: what is really going on in our world? The answer is very simple. We are witnessing the old world order, or if you like, the global control system collapsing. When you see any big headlines in the news, try to relate them to the collapsing old world order, and it should become clear to you that Illuminati is in deep trouble. These are the signs that the old world order is collapsing. Brexit, EU army, EU police, approaching changes in the constitutions in Germany, in Italy, and Russia. The failed military coup in Turkey, which led to more than 66,000 people being arrested who worked against the Turkish government. PricewaterhouseCoopers office that was raided by FSB in Russia. Since 1991, PricewaterhouseCoopers still is an organization that directly controls the Russian Central Bank. This organization controls the printing of Russian ruble. This organization is a strategic tool of the Illuminati to control the Russian Central Bank. That information clearly shows a very strong message that Putin is getting ready to take over the control of the Russian Central Bank before the 18th of September. If we can put these 2 points together, the war is about to break out in 2 weeks, and Putin is ready to take over the Russian Central Bank in about 2 weeks. Then it should become clear to you what is really about to happen here. Breaking News TV YouTube channel will keep you updated with the real news.